Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Investment Dominator setup call and Q&A call. My name is Jory. I will be your host this afternoon slash evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Hey, so glad you're here. If you want to give us, just wait a couple of minutes to let some extra people get in before I hit the road running. But I'm so glad you are here and that you are prioritizing this as a part of your journey. This is to set up your Investment Dominator CRM system. So I'm the software specialist. I can help you out with setting it up, as well as things that are pertaining to the use of it. As far as the business itself, that goes along with whatever educational platform you purchase, whether it be the LambBiz School or if you're part of our upcoming Investment Dominator Maximizer course. That one's going to be phenomenal. And any of the other, if you're coaching, inner circle, or whatever that may be, the Investment Dominator CRM works along with those programs to help you to optimize your land flipping capabilities. So I will give everyone a few moments. So if you want to take a moment and grab a little bit of water or need a bio break, we can do that. And hey, Stephen, welcome, welcome. How are you setting it off? Saying today's a good day to make money in land. Correct. And there's plenty of land to go around, so don't worry about oversaturation and all of those things. And when you go into the grocery store, there are plenty of brands of bread to choose from. And you never run out of different breads, but most of them don't go out of business. So just keep that in mind. There are many different types of bread. You can get different types, different ways that they are made. So there is a need for everything. So please just keep that positive mindset as you're going into this, and you will be just fine. All right, my friends. So I will give you guys about one more minute to get settled in. Grab your beverage, do whatever you need to do. This is a call where I will be sharing my screen. I'll be doing a lot of talking. If you have questions, you can put them, you can write them down, or if they are not pertaining to anything I'm talking about, you can throw them into the chat and I'll go over those afterward. Otherwise, I'll keep the chat for things like I can't hear you or I can't see your screen, but I have a reading and I'm pretty sure you can hear me pretty well. And you will be able to see my screen as soon as I start sharing it. So we'll get started again in a moment. Let me share. Go. Go. Actually, I'm going to go back over. Thank you for confirming that, Chad. I appreciate you. Actually, I'm going to swap these windows over. And I can do that. All right, I am now sharing my screen and we are ready to roll. So giving everybody a little bit of time to gather their things. Again, you're not required to turn on your camera or anything like that because I can't see you, but you will be able to see my screen. You should be able to see it now. I'm sharing my screen. It looks like Investment Dominator, the 2.0 version. In this call, we do go over the 2.0. If you have legacy questions, I do ask that you hold those until the end. This one is showing how to set up 2.0 and kind of move through the motions with that. That's a great question, Stephen. I see your question there. We can go for it. We'll look at the leads in just a moment. Thank you for confirming you can see my screen, Chad. So Chad is the prototype, so make sure that you have your settings like Chad if you want to see and hear me. So if you have any issues with that. All right. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate you. Welcome back. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So today we are here to talk about Investment Dominator 2.0. For my friends that just joined me, my name is Jory. I am one of the trainers here for Investment Dominator. I work on the software side of things. So I can kind of tell you how to set up your Investment Dominator to go along with whatever education package you purchased for Land Profit Generator, whether it be Land Biz School or if you're going through the Maximizer or if you are working with a coach, whatever that may be. The CRM is to help you with your land flipping journey. So that's why we're here tonight. This is the call that happens every Monday night. So if you can't stay, we do have a recording that shows up like at the end of the week. I'll show you where to find all of that at the end of the call. But for tonight, we will be going over some things about some of the key terminology that I'll be using tonight. And also, we'll go over setting up your profile, your signature image, both sides of your business, first focusing on the buying side of the business where you are looking to acquire land, where you're doing the buying. Also the selling side, which is where you are selling those parcels of land that you may acquire. Okay. We'll also go through a sample workflow, and that will lead us right into our key terminologies, but we'll have the Q&A portion right afterward. So some of the key terminology you will hear tonight is deal flow. That's your pipeline for your deals. So whether you're using the Land Profit Generator Classic deal flow, which means you're sending out letters to landowners and you're asking them, hey, I want to buy your land. That's the buying side of your business. You're looking to acquire it. And then, of course, doing the land flip where you're making them an offer, they accept it, then you start to market it to sell it. And once you've sold it, that's the land flip. Okay. So the next thing you may hear is like prospects and leads. So prospects would be more so for that's the person that you're trying to sell your land to, and a lead would be, for the acquisition side, you're going to get these leads. Alrighty, property records, property information. That's just basically the record is where all of the information about those properties is contained. It's in Investment Dominator. We'll see that in just a moment. Your campaigns or marketing campaigns is like your marketing or your outreach automation. So that's basically when you're sending out those letters, we'll refer to them as campaigns. Okay. Also, bulk changes will be like the mass updates in Investment Dominator. And then we have like the difference between legacy and 2.0. You can kind of see it if you've ever touched legacy, but 2.0 is upgraded. There's more of a friendly user interface and more flexibility. I know that some things are still being completed in 2.0. However, there isn't anything that's really going to block you from doing your land flipping business. Okay. So let's just get started with setting up your profile. Most of you should have a page that looks a lot like this. Should have your name here, whatever information that you gave to our person that brought you into Land Profit Generator. That name, that email address will be contained under your profile section. So that's right up here at the top. Opening up your profile, you will see your first name, your last name. Hopefully, it should be your information. If it's not, yikes. However, it should be your information. You could also click right into the box to change any of that information. So say your name is misspelled. You may also want to let the customer service team know that, but that's rare when it happens. However, we're human. All right, so then you have your profile picture if you want to put one. That doesn't show up anywhere. The only thing on this page that shows up outside of the CRM is your signature image. This shows up when you send out prospect neutral letters when you're going through the neutral letter deal flow, or the classic deal flow. Okay. So to generate a signature, you can do one of two things. You can click here to generate that signature. You can type in your name or you can draw it. So if you are artistic and you're really great with clicking your mouse, or if you have a touchscreen device, you can go right in here and just, go for it. That's fancy, right? And then you click confirm and boom, you've got a signature. Now, if you're not a fan of that, you can always click generate signature and you can type it in. Your name is here. It already shows up down here for you, so you don't have to type it in. You just choose a font, whichever font you'd like, and you can confirm it there. All right. And then there's your signature image. You also can go under the Actions tab to upload your own or get rid of this. If you don't like it, you can get rid of it. But if you go in and click Generate again, you can go in and change it as well. Okay. All right, so that's the signature image. Again, that shows on the bottom of your prospect neutral letter. Down here, you'll have your time zone. This is your personal time zone where you currently live, not the time zone where you want to do business. For most of you, it will be the exact same time zone. Some individuals may not be in the United States, so you would have a different time zone. Again, this is just facing our team, so we're able to see what time zone you're in if we need to contact you for anything. You can also change your password in this page by clicking this change password link. You also have your email. We do not recommend changing your email address right here. If you need to make a change on your email address, this is the one that is affiliated with the Land Profit Generator, the one that you use to sign up for the program. So you definitely want to make sure that you keep that the same in your profile. Everywhere else, you can change your email address, but just not in here. If you do that, your system won't talk. They won't talk correctly to one another. So like if you have any data service leads or anything that you have purchased externally through Land Profit Generator to add on to Investment Dominator, it will not bill properly. So you want to make sure that your email address stays the same here. This is also the email address used to log into Investment Dominator. Okay, so if you mess with this, you may lock yourself out, or it could take a while to get you back in. So if you need to change this password, please contact our customer service team, the Land Profit Generator customer service team, and they can assist you with that process. And that way you can avoid having any mishaps. Okay. Your phone number here, this is a phone number that should be your personal phone number. Again, this is a phone number that our team may use to reach out to you. You are welcome to change the phone number. That's fine. You can, if you don't want to have your personal phone number for us to contact you and you want to put your company phone number there, you're welcome to do so. However, this is your phone number. It's not going to face out to anyone else. Now, we're going to head over to a section that will show you, I'll show you the section where it does show up in just a moment. Okay. If you go into the next tab here after information, views, this is something that will develop over time. You'll want your records to look a certain way. So this is just something simple, whether it be list view, card view, or if like your tasks are showing up on a calendar. So you can change these settings at your leisure. I prefer list view, but hey, to each his own. You'll find out what your flavor is once you start going. Okay. Next up, you have your notifications. The notifications are for when someone visits your website. So Investment Dominator comes with two already built out websites. You just have to give them domain names. We'll get into that a little bit later. However, you have those two websites. One is for the buying side of your business, which would be where individuals will reach out and say, hey, make me an offer. So that's that new offer request. So that's the buying side of your business or the acquisition side of the business. So you can choose how you would like to receive a notification if someone reaches out to you on that website. So email, SMS, or your text messaging, or if you have downloaded the Investment Dominator mobile app, you can also use that for a push notification. The second section here is for marketing new prospects, and the prospects go with your selling side of business. So the marketing, when you're trying to sell a parcel of land, if someone visits your selling site where your parcels of land are listed, then you will have the email, SMS, or mobile app. You'll get a notification if someone visits that site, puts in their email address, and says, hey, I'm interested in this parcel of land that you have on your website. I would like to make you an offer. And you would say, okay, let's go. All right, if within reason. Now, with your websites, we do our best to filter all spam notifications. However, sometimes people can spam. Just make sure that you use your best judgment and do your research to make sure that you are entertaining someone that is actually looking to purchase land. Most of those individuals will have phone numbers that are in the United States. They will also have good and recognizable email addresses. They will also indicate what parcel of land they're interested in if they're visiting your selling site. Okay, so just keep those things in mind as you go through this process. All right, so that's your profile in a nutshell. You have your information. The only thing that's facing outward that will be on your prospect neutral letter is your signature image, how you would like to see your records, and how you would like to be notified that someone visited your websites, okay? Or that they're putting an offer request on your websites. All right, so that's your profile. Boom. So now we're going to head over to settings. This is where the fun stuff happens. Under your buying company, this is the acquisition side of your business. So this is where you are buying land. You are reaching out to individuals, asking them, hey, Let me buy that land you've got over there. One of the ways that you do that is with the prospect neutral letter. So a lot of the information you're going to fill out in this section will be for the information that shows up on that prospect neutral letter. We already talked about your signature image that's located in your profile. And now for the buying side, you have a company name. If you choose to start with a company, you have an option. You can either do individual or you can go with a company. You could start at it, and if you're not sure, we recommend that you start as an individual. And then once your business starts rolling, then you can switch over to a company. It's a seamless process. It is not a requirement to have a actual company name to get started with this business. Okay, so you can start off by yourself. So you don't have to put anything in this field. You'll also have a space for a company address. Your company address will not be your home address because you do not want all of these hundreds upon hundreds of people that you're mailing letters to every month to have your personal home address. While in theory that sounds good, however, not everybody is as well as others in this world. So we want to make sure that we're safe. And doing so, you want to make sure that you look professional and clean. So get yourself a suite number through like your local post office or mailbox, etc. Or you can also go through and do a virtual mailbox. iPostal One is one of the companies that comes to mind when I think of that. I'll actually pop that into our chat so you have that information as well. Let me find that. iPostal1.com. Okay. So that is one of many companies that you can use to establish a virtual mailbox. The way that virtual mailboxes work, individuals will mail information to that address. There are people at that space that open up the mail, they scan it in for you, they email you the mail. They let you see what it is. In some instances, you may want them to mail you that mail. So, in some of those packages for these virtual mailboxes, they will give you a certain number of pieces of mail that you can have them mail to your actual home address. However, the idea is that the consumer that is receiving this marketing letter, that they do not have your address. So, just that simple. If you choose to use a PO box, see if you can work with your post office to change that PO box number into a suite number. So basically the address of the post office and then say suite number instead of saying PO box. Okay, that's just for professionalism. However, at the end of the day, these are just recommendations. They are not requirements. So you can run your business the way that you see fit. Okay. Just going to take a quick peek at some of the notes that came in our chat for later in the session. Okay, that's something different. Is this your umbrella company or you're buying LLC? So Casey, this would be whatever the buying LLC. You can use it as an umbrella company if you'd like to do that. You can work this any way you want. You can have two. You can have an umbrella and then a separate one for buying and selling, and so forth. However, like I said, just check with your local state where you choose to do business and find out what the requirements are for your LLCs and all of that. Okay. All right. So moving back into our training process here, we stopped here, company address. Okay. Same thing with your company phone number. This is your company phone number. The company phone number will get the most dials, especially if you're doing the classic deal flow. Classic deal flow, you're sending out this prospect neutral letter. This phone number shows up on the prospect neutral letter. That letter basically states, hey, friend, I noticed you've got this land. I would like to purchase that land. And in a perfect world, they'll pick up the phone, they'll dial your company phone number and say, hey there, I got your letter in the mail. I would like you to make me an offer. And you will say, why, yes, I will make you an offer. And you'll prepare that offer letter. You can either use this company phone number again when you send that offer, or you can create a brand new offer phone number as well. So you have a choice. You could have up to 3 numbers for this business, your company phone number, and then the offer phone number. That offer phone number is where you'll do negotiations, so it won't get as much traction as your company phone. You're sending out thousands upon thousands of letters. A lot of people will have this phone number. Some individuals choose to set up a Google Voice number for their initial phone number. The idea is that If someone calls you and asks for an offer, you want to make sure you send that out. You can get more information about this process in your modules where Jack is explaining this process to you, as well as if you're a quick start or something like that, they can give you more background on like how to set up your businesses and how to set up your phone numbers based on what the coaches are doing on our team. Okay. So again, this company phone number, you just don't want this to be your home phone number. If you have a fax number, you can use it. If you don't, you can leave that blank. Next up is your company time zone. Like I said, not everybody that's doing this business is in the United States. You may live in the Pacific time, but you may want to do your business Eastern time. Whatever that is, that's your business. You get to run it the way you like. So you can change that company time zone right here. So it can be different than what's in your profile. A lot of the, like I said, the majority of you will use the same time zone. Okay. So you can change that here. Are you a real estate agent or a broker? If you happen to be one, you can just say yes. A disclosure will open up here, and you can type in a disclosure that shows up on the bottom of your prospect neutral letter. One space where a licensed agent would come in handy is in the state of Georgia. But this is just one that I know off the top of my head. If you are not a real estate agent or a broker and you're sending prospect neutral letters, you actually have to have a notification on the front of your prospect neutral letter on the envelope that states that it is a marketing letter. If you happen to be a real estate agent or a broker, you can bypass that. So that's just one of the ways that having that license could be helpful. However, it is absolutely not required to be a real estate agent. You can just avoid those, or you can get someone that is a real estate agent to help you out and work on your team. It's really up to you. So we do recommend reaching out to whatever state you're working in, again, finding out those laws on sending those marketing letters and what that looks like for you. As we get the information here at Investment Dominator, we try to put a user guide article in place. However, it is ultimately your business's responsibility to go through and find that information for where you're casting your net, okay? Because that is at the mercy of the county or the state where you're working. Alrighty, so that's just the one thing for the real estate agent. If you're not one, just say no, and that's perfectly fine. Again, there's plenty of land for people who are not operating with a real estate agent, so you're good. So the company offer email, that's something that you can do. You can use the same email address you'd like for the buying side of the business. However, you can change it up for your offers. If you are negotiating with someone or you want to send a DocuSign, you just want to use a separate email address, you're welcome to do so. Okay, so that's all that's here in this section for the buying side of the business. The second section is the selling or dispositions. This is you. You are selling property. You absolutely want to use a separate company phone number on this side. You can. We also recommend changing the email as well because you are running two different lines of business. That's why you have two separate websites. As far as your company name, again, you are welcome to just do it as an individual until you decide how you would like to run this business. If you want an umbrella company and two different LLCs or however you would choose to do so. All right, so you have time to figure that out. You are not required to put your tax type or anything in here until you start using like some of the note software or something like that that may require it. Otherwise, you do not have to do that either. But your company email, you may want to put something in there. Again, it does not have to be domain specific. It can be a general Gmail account, but you do want it to be different than your buying side. The reason that we ask you to separate the two businesses is because sometimes they may intersect for some individuals. While not recommended, a lot of individuals will go out, they'll say, hey, they'll send those letters and say, I would like to purchase your property, please. That property owner says, yes, you can purchase my property. Send me an offer. You send them an offer. They accept the offer. You're in escrow. Once you're in escrow, some individuals go ahead and market the property for sale. That way, your money doesn't have to change hands. It is not recommended, but this is the reason why you need two separate businesses for those specific occasions. Also, because you have two separate lines of business. All right. So that's the selling side. It's pretty simple and it's self-explanatory. So this is under the company side. Then you have your account. This account is separate from Investment Dominator. I know it looks just like Investment Dominator. It is attractive, right? However, for this one, this is your account management section. This ties into your land profit generator and all of that. You can also access this through your student portal, which is the my.landprofitgenerator.com space. So when you find this and you have not accessed it before, you want to go ahead and click forgot password. You'll get an email. Make sure you check your spam to reset this password. Okay. And then you can move forward with setting up your account management. In there, you can create your, like, do your purchase data, your leads. You can make changes to your account. So I'll show you mine really quickly here. I think that's it. Is it? Maybe. Yep. Okay. So when I log into mine, it's a separate email. Separate password than my regular Investment Dominator. The reason being, if you're working on a team or something like that, we have to make sure that that is secure for you because you can access and update credit card information, any of your subscriptions and things would show here. Your Investment Dominator plan, you can make changes to that here, as well as any data service plans to upgrade or downgrade. And if you're working with owner finance notes, you can do that. Once your domains are established, then you can see those here. And if you decide, hey, I don't want to be with Investment Dominator anymore, you can come into your account management and transfer those buying sites before you cancel your account. So just keep that in mind. This is something that's very useful under the account section. And then that's campaigns. We're going to talk about websites a little bit. Currently in the 2.0, one of the easiest ways to set up your website is to go through the onboarding wizard. However, the onboarding wizard is not quite ready yet for the 2.0. So if you have an email address, a domain name that you've already selected for your website, you'll need one for your buying site and one for your selling site. Okay, it cannot be the same like mine is showing. It is not the same, but keep that in mind. So as you're thinking of these domains, we do recommend that you go to something like whois.com so that you can take a look at what domains are available. Let me just pull up that page and I'll share this with you. So in whois.com, you can go here to see if the domains are available. If the domain is available, then you will be able to put that if the domain is available, it will let you know whether or not it is. Okay, so I'm putting in ibuyland.com. I already know that's not available. If you click who is, it will show that it's already taken by someone else. You can see that these are other domains that you may be able to get. But if I put in, let's see, jorybuysland.com, that is actually available. So you can say buy now. However, you do not buy it in here. You just check to see if it's available. If it has not been registered yet, you can go ahead and copy and paste this and put it into a ticket and send it to our team so that we can set up your domain names for you and we'll get you set up that way. The onboarding wizard was the easiest way to do it because we went through the configuration process. If you decide, hey, I don't want you to have my domain names, I don't want you to buy them for me, I'll do it myself. You can go through GoDaddy. That's the one that we're most familiar with because we can offer assistance. We do have a user guide article that kind of walks you through the registration process to set up and configure a GoDaddy domain with our account. But if you choose to use something else, that's perfectly fine. We will try to help you as best we can. The cool thing is the terminology that's in the user guide article, it's pretty universal. So there's like some changing of C names and all of that. So that's if you decide to purchase your own domain names and not use the ones that are actually given to you by Investment Dominator. Okay, so that's kind of the website spiel. And let me just check in with you guys here in our ticket section before we move forward. So Casey has a question. What if you have your license, but you do not utilize it? Well, if you have your license and you do not utilize it, you can still send the letter. I mean, even if you're not using it, if it's expired, of course, it doesn't count anymore. So just keep that in mind. You said what you missed it. What's the difference between the company email and the company offer email? Sure. So the company email is just your regular email. If you have an offer email, it can be exactly the same. It does not have to be different. This is just if you decide you're going to use DocuSign for your contracts or something like that. that's when that email address would come into play. A lot of people, if you're using the classic deal flow, you may not use email at all. So it's really up to you. And same with the phone number on the buying tab. Under the buying tab, you have your company phone number. This is what shows up on the prospect neutral letter. This can be the same phone number because it's all on the buying side of your business. But the offer phone number is just basically a negotiation line. So you send out that first letter with the company phone that says, "Hey, I want to buy your land." Once that individual says, "Okay, you could, yes, you can buy my land, make me an offer." When you send them that offer, it will have this offer phone number on there so they can call you to negotiate that offer. So, and for example, for a phone system, sometimes if you use Ring Central or Open Phone, I think Open Phone is transferring to a different name if I'm not mistaken. Whatever phone service you decide to go with, some individuals will have one line for the buying side of the business with just two phone numbers. So the first, well, it'll be one phone number, but two lines on it. That's what I meant to say. So you'll have that one phone number. You press one to respond to a prospect neutral letter, press two to respond to an offer that's been sent, something like that. Some individuals will use a third party call center like Pat Live to help field calls for the company phone number. When you're sending out that letter, sometimes it can produce a lot of calls. So you have individuals at that line that can screen those individuals for you and only send you leads that are actually asking for offers. So that's another part too. Chat, if anyone needs funding, I'm also a hard money lender. I do not fund land unless you are a developer. We take a close look at developers. Okay, cool. So Chad's a resource. He's in our chat. Hi, Chad. Welcome. Alrighty, so this is basically, like I said, this is the buying and the selling side of the company. Moving forward here, let's see, let's go ahead and take a look at like a sample deal flow. So I know that there was a question about importing leads at the top. I think Stephen had a question about that. So if you have free leads, some of you will likely have free leads that have come from whatever package you've purchased. So we're just going to do the um, prospect neutral letter deal flow just to kind of give you an idea of what this looks like. Okay, so starting here, we're going to go back to the main screen. All right, so here you are in your home of Investment Dominator. Generally, to get things going, you can choose prospecting from this panel here. That will open up this page. So a lot of you will not have records already, but I do. So that whenever they come in, it's been a long day for technology. Okay, there we are. So here are all of my records that I have in my system. I've mailed some letters here. So I'm going to go to Wizards. That's going to be your first step to find those records, right? Then you're going to go to Find Deals. Once you're in this page, this will let you know you could decide how you would like to bring in those leads. So if you have a CSV file that you're pulling in from a third party and you've um, formatted it correctly and you want to bring that in, you can choose this import a CSV file. However, if you have free leads, you will find them under import from our data service. So as soon as you click this radial button, you'll be able to see how many data credits you have. So I have used 4,787 out of the 11,000 I've been given. Again, this is a demo account, so please know that I'm not just out here with all of these records. So we have records used, and then I have my records credits available, 5,213 that are still available. Okay, so it's asking me would I like to load previously saved criteria or generate a new list. I'm going to go with define new criteria because most of you will be brand new to this. And also, I like to do define new criteria because sometimes you may change what you're looking for. But loading save criteria, you could like save it once you're done if you're going to be searching in a particular area multiple times and you want to keep the same filters. Okay, so that's one of your options. But I'll say define new criteria. I'll click next. All right, so here it says what type of property records do you want to import? So are you selecting a target area or do you want to use a map view? So here we have a space to go in what state we want to choose. And would that be, is everybody experiencing me breaking up really badly or Okay, thank you, Pedro. I can see you. You giving me a thumbs up. We're good. Okay, cool. All right, so under what state am I in? I'm going to go through and I'm going to choose a state. I'm going to make a choice. Yeah. Let's see what Nevada's doing today. All right, so what county? You choose your county, wherever you're choosing to cast your net. I'm going to go with Nye County, Nevada. It looks like there are 23,172 records total there. Okay, so you can see those records there. Okay, great. So now you want to break them down because most of us are not going to bring all of those in. So what filters would you like to use? So if you would like to use the standard filters, we have some that are already pre-selected in Investment Dominator based on Jack's teaching. So the 10,000 to $1 million. And just so you can see the rest, I'm going to say no, I do not want to use our standard filters. We'll bring this down. We have our most popular here under this drop down. So your market value, again, is at 10,000 to 1 million. Lot acreage is like zero point 0.1 to 160 acres. So you can fill in additional information if you like. Down here are your land use codes. So if there's something you don't want to have, all you'd have to do is simply click on the X to make it go away because they're all automatically selected for you. That's part of the pre-selection. So you have all of them selected. The second drop down is property information. So like if you had something from someone that you want to look up that's specific. Then you have your owner of record. So you can kind of go through here and choose individuals or companies or both. So if I choose just individuals, my number should change at the top here. I have 23,172. I'm going to hit refresh and see how many pull. And you see how it reduced down to 16,458. So sometimes changing those filters can be helpful based on what you want to do. Okay, so I have the individuals here, and then you can do even more um, changes here with like the property and lien information. I think there's like a module of Jack's that kind of tells you how to use that as well. Okay, so these are what we selected. So we'll hit next. In here, it will tell you that you found 16,458 property owners that meet your selected criteria. It lets me know how many I've already imported from this county as well. So this prevents you from importing the same record twice. Now, you may have some from the same owner, but you will not pull in the same exact record, okay? So I've already pulled in 172 property owners from Nye County, Nevada. And so it goes through my filters here. This is before I hit next and bring them in. So that way I know I'm importing what I really want. I have selected Nevada as my state, Nye as my county. My market value is still set for that 10,000 to $1 million range. The size range of my acres here, all of the land use codes that I've selected. I did say I want to include owners with multiple properties. That is a choice. You could say no to that. I'm only importing one property per owner. So even though you're sending out one letter to that individual, that's what you will have. And then ownership type will be individuals instead of individuals and companies because the default is both. So keep that in mind. You'll click next, and then it will again ask you how many records you would like to import. So you click in the box and you say how many you would bring in. I'm just going to bring in 10 for training purposes. So I'm only bringing 10 in out of the 16,458 records. Okay. So it tells me how many available credits. Now say I wanted to bring all of them in because I don't have enough credits to bring all of these in. So it's automatically going to yell at me to purchase credits if I don't have enough. So keep that in mind. Okay. So I'm going to go back and just put 10. And then would I like to tag these records? Why, yes, because one of the best practices is to tag your records so you know exactly where your records are and what they look like. So for here, I'm going to put Nye County, Nevada, and I'm going to put what date I brought them in. And again, you can choose whatever tag will help you to identify your records. So I'm going to add that tag. And then eventually you'll add additional tags to these records as well. Like after you mail them, you may want to put in a tag after that as well. Okay, would you like to assign these records to a team member? If you are working with a team and you say yes, then you can do the drop down and choose one of these users that you have put in. All right. For now, I'm going to say no. The property record is not currently in a deal flow. Would you like to add them to a deal flow? Absolutely. So I'm using the deal flow, the prospect neutralizer deal flow. That's the classic deal flow. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that from the drop down. You can also create custom deal flows as well in Investment Dominator. However, if you're just getting started, we do recommend using the classic deal flow unless you're working with a coach and they tell you otherwise. Okay. So what deal flow status would you like to move the property records into? Well, I'm just pulling these in. So the first status in the prospect neutral letter deal flow is prospect. Once I've mailed my letters, then they can move over to mail letter one. And then if somebody calls back and says, hey, make me an offer, then I move it to pending preliminary research and so forth. And once you send the offer, then it's offer sent. And then once you start to put that out there and you're doing your research to market this parcel of land, then you will just go straight through. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to put these at prospect because we're just getting started. We'll click confirm, and then it's like, hooray, you've imported records. So if any of my friends have records, that's how you pull them in. You're going to go into the prospecting section here, and come over and go into the wizards and pull those in. So now we have 10 records that have been added. They're brand new. We are going to, if you had records in here that were older, they may bring in something to update the owners or something like that. So also, one of the things that Jack always says, once you bring them in, send out a letter right away. You don't want to hold on to the records for too long because things happen quickly at the county. So you want to make sure that well, it's slow but quick at the same time. So you just want to make sure that you're using your records. You're not just having them sit there for a long period of time. So you have these 10 that have been imported successfully. You can click to view your records, or you can just save them. I'm going to go ahead and view them. Just to give you some information about the numbers up here, this is letting me know what what amount of, excuse me, I didn't mean to do that, what number I'm at. So this is my 3,567th import. And this little number here is just letting me know that I'm bringing in 10. So if I brought in 100, it would say 100 here. Okay, so just so you don't think it's an exponent or something strange. So you have that there, and you can see these records here on the front page of everything. And this, all 10 of them are right here. So say I want to go ahead and just mail these out. I can mail them out from right here if I'd like. But you can see all of their information at first glance. So if somebody calls you, all you have to do is click on that individual to call, and they'll give you their owner or number or reference number from the letters. I'll show you that shortly. You'll find them, click on them, kind of walk through, and you can see all the information about the property and the information about the owner. For my friends that have skip tracing and 2.0, everybody has skip tracing available as well. So like if you have an owner that you've just brought in and you're like, okay, I've got some good information, but I think I want to see if there's an email address for this person because I have no phone numbers or anything else. If you want to put your feelers out, you can skip trace those owners. We recommend taking your time with that. You don't have to do it. This one might not have anything that comes back, but that's what that red X will mean if that's what I get. I'm just going to click next just to show you how that works. I've used 20 of my 50. Lets me know how many I have available. Click next and see if any more information comes up for Janetta. Oh, great. So something updated for her. I'm not sure what it found, but let's go check it out. Okay. I'm just going to confirm she's already in there. If I want to add another tag, I can. What did we get? Did we get a phone number? Let's see. Yeah, we found a phone number for Janetta. Okay, so there's the phone number has filled in now as well. And we also found an email address as well. So that's how quickly you can find information. So this is just, we only have so much information that's required. But if you want to access that additional, so like if you're doing any cold calling, some people will, you can go through and try to find that as well. Patricia has a great question. Is there a cost for skip tracing? So you get, I believe it's 25 skip traces free per month with the 2.0. So you'll have like a certain number free. But if you go into any of the owners, you click the owner tab, go up to actions, and then click skip trace owner, then you can pull that information. All right, I'm going to back out of here and go back to our records that we imported, because I'm actually just going to go ahead and show you what the letter looks like. I'll click the ID up here at the top to select all of them. And then under my Actions tab, I'm just going to go Generate Documents because these are the ones I want. So if I go in, I'm going to say I'm going to generate a neutral letter and confirm. And so then I can bring them into my local printer. You also have a mailing service. There's two mailing services that are available. REI Print Mail is automatically integrated in Investment Dominator. So if you choose this, then it'll take you through the process of mailing out those letters. It is a pay per use service. It is a third party service, but it is integrated in an Investment Dominator. So it'll take you through the process of creating your letters. It'll allow you to look at them, and then you're able to go in and proof them, and then it will mail them out. So it'll stuff them, put the stamp on it, and send it out for you on your behalf. I believe it's like 79 to 89 cents per letter that way. So you have that option as a mailing service. Again, it's pay per use. And then ITI Direct, it creates template files that you will send to ITI Direct. They are a third party service as well. And then if you have another company that you're working with, you can send other source files. But for this, I'm going to use local printer home office so I can show you what the letter looks like right now. So we'll click next, and I'll have all the documents. I can just pull a zip file, or I can go in and look at each one individually. I'll do the zip file because it should come up at the top. And these are PDF and Word. So under that, we got our neutral letter in both formats. So let's take a look at this neutral letter together first. Pull it into view. Okay. So another thing with the onboarding wizard, you can adjust where your signature image lands as well. But if you want to, you can draw it in. That will help out with that process. But this is what it looks like in a Word. No, this is a PDF document. I'm sorry. So you have the individual that you're sending the letter to, your date. You have one APN number, so it's property APN, and any others that you may own. It goes through and says, hey, I'm writing you because public records show you as the property of owner of a property in Nye County, Nevada. I'm very much interested in purchasing this property from you. So this APN number that's given, he may have this property, but he'll might call you or reach back out to you and say, hey, yes, I have this property. However, I also have one in California. And that's when you're able to add that property under the owner. Again, we are able to help you with any process, and it's also found in our user guide on how to do most of these processes. Okay. So we also have the space here where you can call. So there's your phone number, your company phone number that's listed under that acquisition side of your business. Here is your domain name once you come up with that. So that is important. Your signature image. You also have your name here. So this is being sent under one of the individuals that's on my team. All right. So we say we're available Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 Central Time. Call us anytime. That can be changed if you have a different call zone. Also, any company notes that you may add, those will also show up at the bottom of the letter. Here is your owner ID or reference number. This is the number. I don't know if anybody can see that. It's very small, but this is the number that will show up. I think you guys can't see the letter. It doesn't look like you can see the letter. Let me see if I can change that. No. There she is. All right. I was like, I'm just looking at it. I can see. Nobody said that you could see it, but here it is. This is the letter. So if you wanted to see that in person, so this is where all of your information that you put into Investment Dominator will fit in. Okay. All right. So this is the letter, and then you also have the envelope as well. So I'll X out of this. We will open the. It's because it's opening separate windows. So here comes the envelope. There it is. And then here, down here is your owner ID or reference ID. So they'll call in and give you that number, and you're able to pull them in your records for that. All right, so let's head back over to the Investment Dominator. So I can just show you how you can get in contact with our team and what that looks like. Okay, so we're back on this page here. Let me take that off. And I'm going to click next just to show you what it looks like afterward. After you've put in those records, would you like to move the records into another deal flow status? Well, yes, after I've printed them, I can say yes. I can put them into mail letter one. We're using this flow. Oh, no, we don't have to put in another deal flow. We do the status. Neutral letter, and then we're going to put it in mail letter one. All right. And then you can tag these again to add another tag if you'd like to say first letter mailed and then put the date just so that you can keep up with what you're doing. So add that tag. Click confirm and you're done. All right. It's been turn my attention. It looks like I have about 10 minutes left. So I'm going to turn my attention to our chat here and make sure. So Frank had a question at the beginning of the session. He said, I need help to finish setting up my business, but using the new 2.0, is there a wizard that would tell me where I left off and what I still need to do? So Frank, for the 2.0, we don't have the wizard just yet. So if you're setting up your business, but anything under this, I'm sorry, let me go back to the main page. Thanks. Under the main page, you just basically go under profile and then under settings. So once you go under that buying site, buying settings, buying acquisition, anything that's not filled in. So basically your company phone number, if you choose to have an offer phone number that's separate, you want to put that there. You definitely need your address to get started. And you can get started with a Google Voice number. You can change all of this information at a later time. So just you can just go ahead and get started. Just looking here, anything that's in this section, as well as your signature image, and if you want to make sure you're selling. So these two sections here, what need to basically be filled in, as well as turning in a domain name, so we can make sure that that's ready for your websites. I hope that is helpful. I went through Casey's questions. Okay, Jen. Curtis, I'm not. You said what do you use? Was that directed at Chad or what was that for? Okay, so Pedro has a question here too. Sometimes you get a message asking if you want to merge the duplicate leads, but then when you click yes to merge, nothing merges. So Pedro, I would like to look at that. Have you sent in a ticket to our team to take a look at what may be happening with that? 'Cause if you have duplicate leads, you should be able to merge them. So let me see if I can even, I don't know if I have any records with the same owner ID. Let me check. I'm going to actually add my owner ID. And what I'm doing now is just adding a column to my view. So I want to see my owner ID and my reference numbers. Where they are. Oh, it's over here now. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in order and see if I have any that match. I don't think I do. Well, if they're all under the same owner ID. So let's say I want to take these and merge them. Let me see if I can do this. Mm, I can do bulk changes here. I think somebody else had a questions about, delete old records in bulk. Chad, are you referring to records that are currently in your investment dominator? So like you can remove them. Oh, where I get my data, the data service that's in Investment Dominator. It's the easiest way. You don't have to change the formatting or anything like that. It imports directly in to your CRM. Yes, you could delete old records in bulk. So you could just go through and select them and then just go through and choose to delete them with the actions. You can just click delete properties and that will make them go away. Do I recommend changing the neutral letter? No, not in the beginning. If you're choosing, if you're going down another route and you want to make changes, or if you want to absolutely have your logo or something on them, then yes, you can put like that type of information. But the wording is tried and true. It's the same wording that Jack used for his letters. That's what that is based on. So if you'd want to make changes, again, it's not recommended, but it's not required to keep it the same. So we do have the option to create custom neutral letters. Okay, let me see. So how do we transfer data we have in legacy to 2.0? It will still be in 2.0. So I still have all of the older records that I had in legacy. They did transfer over to 2.0. If you see anything glitchy or if you think that something's missing, please let us know. We are a bunch of humans trying to do this over here. So I'm happy to connect with my team and have someone take a look if you think something's missing, Sheila. Okay. Okay. So if people would like to look at a recording, I think Patricia's already gone, but the recordings are listed in our help section, and that's what I want to point your direction to now. And Frank's asking where or how within Investment Dominator can I see or view my buying and also my selling domain? Wouldn't that help also to confirm if I'm set up, if that makes sense? Yes, it does, Frank. I'm sorry about that. So that's also under your settings here. If you go down to websites, you can access your website settings here. So if you have a domain name listed here, this would be your buying site and your buying information. This is where you can make edits to your theme and all of that in Investment Dominator. Most of you will have access to all of your themes. But again, this is the one section of Investment Dominator 2.0 that's not completely perfected yet, but we are willing to help you with anything. Your domain shows up here first. So if you need to make any changes, you can change your domain here or reset your domain. Okay, you're welcome. Where do we go to see if responses have we got from the website landing page, if anybody inquired via the website? Yes, so that setting is in your profile under notifications. So that's where you would set that up. So you can use your email address that's on file. You can create to have it sent to your phone with like SMS or text messaging, and then also the mobile app. Okay, so you have those options. All right, friends. So if you are going through this process and you find that, hey, I cannot figure this out, we do have a way to get in contact with our team. That's technical team for Investment Dominator. You go through our help section here. We have our user guide. The user guide is pretty robust. It's got a lot of articles that can help you through most of the questions that you may have. The AI support assistant, it's still learning. As you know, if you're using AI can only use what you feed it. So if we don't have a lot of information, it can pull some things, but it's not always correct. So we always recommend coming into this call to get live calls or either send in a support ticket. That's the quickest way to get into contact with our team and to get the support that you need. So always come straight to us, put in that support ticket. So under support tickets, you'll have this here. It normally takes us about an hour to respond to any of our support tickets. The all section here kind of shows all of them. If you have some that are open, they'll show here, pending, working, or closed. If you would like to add a support ticket, you just go ahead here and click add help ticket, or you can add one this way as well. All right. So you can go through and put in as much information as possible. We do ask that you're as detailed as possible. If you use a function called Loom, it is a screen share support. So since Investment Dominator 2.0 is still going through the motions, you do want to make sure that sometimes you can get us a video. That's the easiest way for us to see what's happening, diagnose, or either connect with our developers to ensure that that particular issue gets resolved quickly. The other thing I will say, because Investment Dominator 2.0 is still doing things, if you find something sticky or if it's spinning, just go ahead and restart your device. Go ahead and just make sure that you're working with the most updated browser as well, and make sure that you give our softwares time to make any changes. So we do not recommend like leaving your laptop on for days and keep trying to use the software as normal. You may experience some issues. So please, please, please restart your devices at night to make sure that you're working with the most updated version of everything. So yes, send in tickets to us. We do want to help. We are here to help. This call is here to help as well. Our Go back to our help section. The user guide kind of functions like the Google of Investment Dominator. So say if you want information for your websites, you can click in there and type in websites. It's going to pull up all of the articles that it has that mentions a website. Okay. Or domains, if you're trying to figure out about domains. And we kind of go over that in the Q&A session, so that's why those come up. Speaking of Q&A sessions, if you want to review the recording of this call, you go to the homepage for the user guide, scroll to the bottom where this telephone is, live training Q&A calls. If you click here, you will see one of our calls here, and we have others that are also should show up at the bottom. I'll go in and make sure that all of them are tagged so they show up immediately, but they're all down here. These are all the 2.0 ones that we've done so far. The one from last week was really good too. I kind of went in the same format. It seems to be helpful for individuals who are just getting started. If you have anything that you would like to see, let me know. I'll do my best to squeeze it in. The app is the Investment Dominator app. It is available on Google Play as well as the Apple App Store. You'll see the Investment Dominator icon here. Okay, cool. All right. Frank, yes, I am part of the IT team. I'm more so on the training side and then the support side as well. So I do diagnose and sometimes I take tickets as well. So I'm in the background trying to make things work as well. So um, I'm here to help. All right, friends. So I thank you. Hudson, you said you uploaded a photo to your profile. It isn't there. It's white box, a small blue question mark in the middle. Can you send us the photo? Maybe we can help out with maybe the um, formatting of it. Maybe that's the issue, but we would like to look at it. So if you can send us a ticket, we would be happy to help you out with that for sure. All right, my friends. So I am at the end of my time. I am so grateful that you all have joined today and made some space. I know some of you have to go. So that's great. This is great. Will there be a part two session to go over the website setup and marketing and selling topics? We can note that for something that we can go over next week to kind of help out with that as well. Okay. You're very welcome, everyone. Have a great night. Be kind to yourself. Again, this is a process. Nobody yells at a flower bud because it didn't grow right away. So give yourself patience and time to grow and to flourish into what this business looks like for you. Okay, give yourself some grace. Have a great night, everyone. Take care. I'll leave this up if anybody needs to grab anything from the chat for maybe about one more minute. Okay.